When Mother Nature issues a warning, some still choose to roll the dice, and sometimes they lose everything. Salisbury, Mass. Here's a story that will make you question everything about risk-taking and human judgment. As Hurricane Erin's devastating aftermath continued to pound the Massachusetts coastline with life-threatening conditions, two individuals made a decision that would forever change their lives and spark a debate about personal responsibility versus maritime tragedy. The clock has been ticking relentlessly since Saturday afternoon, marking over 24 hours since a dramatic maritime emergency unfolded off the treacherous waters near Salisbury Beach. What started as what witnesses described as an ill-fated voyage has now become a desperate search and rescue operation that has the entire coastal community holding its breath. According to Massachusetts State Police investigators, a substantial 47-foot recreational vessel met its fate in the unforgiving waters adjacent to Salisbury Beach, the very same stretch of coastline that authorities had already deemed too dangerous for public access due to Hurricane Erin's lingering impact. The beach itself remained under strict closure orders, with officials citing extreme rip current conditions that posed serious threats to anyone brave enough or foolish enough to enter the water. But here's where it gets controversial. Why would experienced boaters venture out when every warning sign pointed to disaster? The sequence of events, as pieced together by maritime investigators, paints a picture of rapid catastrophe. Shortly after the vessel departed from Salisbury Marina, the boat began experiencing severe distress. The combination of hurricane-generated swells and powerful wind conditions created a perfect storm scenario that the craft simply couldn't withstand. Within minutes, the vessel was taking on massive amounts of water at an alarming rate, ultimately leading to complete structural failure and capsizing. Eyewitness Mark Hazeler, who happened to be taking what he thought would be a peaceful riverside walk, found himself witnessing maritime drama that he'll never forget. His account provides crucial insight into those final moments before disaster struck. Hazeler observed the same vessel struggling against increasingly violent wave conditions as it approached the mouth of the Merrimack River, a notorious area known for challenging navigation even under ideal circumstances. The waves were absolutely insane, like nothing I've seen in years of living here, Hazeler recalled, his voice still carrying traces of disbelief. My walking companion and I just looked at each other and couldn't understand the decision-making process. What could possibly be so important that you'd risk everything in conditions like these? And this is the part most people miss. The split-second timing that can mean the difference between life and death in maritime emergencies. Within moments of Hazeler's observation, the tranquil Sunday morning was shattered by the arrival of multiple emergency response teams. The Harbour Master's office immediately coordinated with first responders, while a United States Coast Guard helicopter thundered overhead. Its crew already assessing the gravity of the situation below. The organised chaos of a full-scale maritime rescue operation was now in motion. The rescue efforts yielded mixed results that highlight both the heroism of emergency responders and the harsh reality of oceanic dangers. Coast Guard personnel successfully extracted one individual from the churning waters, a feat that required exceptional skill and courage given the hostile conditions. The rescued boater was immediately transported via medical helicopter to a nearby medical facility, where healthcare professionals determined his injuries, while serious, were not life-threatening. A small miracle considering the circumstances. However, the story takes a darker turn when we consider the second occupant of the vessel. A man believed to be in his 50s remains unaccounted for. Despite intensive search efforts that have now extended well beyond the critical first 24-hour window, search and rescue experts know that survival rates drop dramatically as time passes, particularly in water conditions as severe as those created by Hurricane Erin's aftermath. Local maritime safety advocate Sumner Missenheimer didn't mince words when discussing the incident. offering a perspective that many in the boating community share, but rarely voice publicly. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a disturbing pattern we see year after year, Misenheimer explained. People consistently underestimate the ocean's power and overestimate their own abilities or equipment capabilities. The water doesn't care about your experience level or how expensive your boat was. The aftermath of the capsizing tells its own story of the ocean's devastating power. Video footage captured at the scene reveals the once proud 47-foot vessel reduced to a floating shell, rising and falling helplessly with each successive wave like a discarded toy. By Sunday morning, pieces of the boat's interior, including what appeared to be dining furniture and decorative wood paneling, were discovered floating separately in the Merrimack River. Silent testimony to the violence of the vessel's final moments. The broader implications of this incident extend beyond just one tragic day on the water. Salisbury Beach remains under indefinite closure due to the persistent, dangerous rip current conditions that Hurricane Erin left in its wake. These aren't just minor safety precautions. Rip currents are responsible for more beach deaths than sharks, lightning, and jellyfish combined. When authorities close beaches and issue maritime warnings, they're drawing from decades of experience with similar weather patterns and their deadly consequences. But here's the million-dollar question that's dividing the community. At what point does personal freedom to make risky decisions cross the line into reckless endangerment that puts rescue workers at risk? The identity of both boaters remains confidential pending family notifications and ongoing investigation procedures. But their story has already become a cautionary tale that will be discussed in marina bars and Coast Guard stations for years to come. As search operations continue and the missing man's family maintains hope against increasingly difficult odds, this incident forces us all to confront uncomfortable questions about risk assessment, personal responsibility, and the true cost of split-second decisions made in the face of nature's warnings. What do you think? Are incidents like these preventable tragedies caused by poor judgment? Or are they simply the unfortunate result of unpredictable circumstances that could happen to any of us? Should there be legal consequences for venturing out in clearly dangerous conditions? Or does that go too far in restricting personal freedom? The debate is just beginning, and your voice matters in this conversation.